for the nerves. This is for the brainiacs. This what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back. You ain't gonna touch me. You not gonna do nothing. You are not above me. I bet you wish you was me. I know it, I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, it's me and my only friends. And we got Hoodie Allen in the building today. What is poppin', everybody?
Man, I'm so happy he got introed instead of Lamanna. It's about time.
So much pressure. Fucking bitch. You brought it up.
I know, you're
just
right.
walked right past it.
No,
I
you're
wasn't
right.
going to say anything.
Brian looked at me and smiled, and I looked at him and I said, don't you dare.
I specifically left it
I
out
just
today.
wanted to give Conrad his flowers for once. You know, I'm always here dogging him a little bit, and we got a very special guest today. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thank you guys for having me here.
I don't know if you give special applause.
I'm so happy to be here on like a very uneventful, boring day.
Yeah,
so,
nothing going on.
You know, I'm just gonna. I'll be a bystander.
You're the headline, man. We're so happy to have the distraction. You know, it's a slow news day.
Yeah.
There isn't a lot going on in the poker world.
No,
so
not at all.
Let's fucking talk rap music, man.
I'm here to talk rap music and not poker beef. Let's do it.
I had my first actual personal interaction with you via stream, where I fucked up where you're from. And I didn't know why, but you DM me and let me know. Yeah. I thought you were a fellow Pennsylvanian.
I went to college in Philly. I give off Pennsylvania vibes, which is terrible, but I am actually from New York. But as we've established, this is an East Coast pod, so we're all We're all in the family here.
We're all cooking here from the East Coast. So you very very casually just mentioned you would go to college in Philly, like just leaving out the fact that it was an Ivy League school.
Yes, as an aspiring poker player, I'm always trying to downplay my strengths to get more action. So I just went to some college. I went to Drexel. Shots to Drexel.
That's really funny because that's where Fee went to college.
No, Drexel's great. We love Drexel.
Amazing. Where did you go? You went to Penn?
Great.
Yeah, I went to Penn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed of that. Don't be bashful. No,
Fuck, man.
great.
Some of us couldn't even get into Penn State. Jesus Christ.
With a small $1 million donation from my family, I got into Penn.
That'll get you in there.
Yeah.
Just built
the Hoodie Allen library on campus. That's what we did.
That's amazing.
Man.
Yep.
Oh man. So I don't even know where to begin with all of this. I feel like it's difficult for us to not talk a little bit about the current state of affairs before we get into your whole backstory.
No, please. I'm just here.
As somebody like from the outside looking in. Well, let's talk about this. What was your first exposure to poker, and then how does it compare to now being in the thick of it?
It's weird because all of my friends, like I'm 34, so like the poker boom and like all my friends in high school would always play together and the degenerate cash games on Long Island and like back room areas, and I was never a part of it. So I only really got interested in poker after I played at a friend's house like 7 years ago, and I lost, and I was like, I'm gonna be better than everyone at this. I got like motivated by like not knowing what I was doing. Yeah. And then ever since then, I've just ingested all the content and started playing. I think my first tournament was like basically my second tournament was like the main event. Because why not?
Why not? I remember when you were rolling through the halls of the Rio.
Yeah, just making a little appearance, and so I was like, why not start with the main event? That was great. And then over quarantine, I realized that cash is superior. So now I'm a cash guy.
Oh, the music to my ears.
Predominantly.
Yeah. Of course, we take shots at the big stuff. You got to
tell these guys something.
I mean, listen, if you want the glory and you got to play the tournaments. You got to get in there.
This guy, cash games, cash is king.
Man.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, but when you play big cash games, there's a lot of glory in there. That's nice. That's
big
nice.
Cash games
for me, I'm going to play, 100 NL. There's not a lot of glory in that, but maybe I want a bracelet. That's how you get the glory.
I would like a bracelet.
Yeah,
that is on my aspiration list for sure.
Are you gonna play a bunch of events this summer?
I think so.
So you're gonna focus on tournaments this summer and not cash, or both? Are you double dipping?
I think you can do a mix of both. Why?
You can.
Yeah, why
it's not advised? Well,
why is it not advised?
Just because you want to put your focus on one thing.
Don't listen to him.
Oh,
you're the one that told me.
Yeah, no. Stop trying to take our cash action, man. Look, you focus on one thing because you get distracted easily. You know,
I
you're the
do.
tortoise.
I do. I am.
My man Hoodie
Yes.
here, he's trying to double dip. Like, let
Yes.
the man dip his pen wherever he wants.
I'm a multitasker. I'm a rapper. I'm a
right.
songwriter, cash game player, tournament aficionado.
How big do you play when it comes to cash? Were the Hustler game that you just played, was that like big stakes for you or normal?
No, that was one of the bigger games that I've ever played because I was talking about potentially doing their Friday game.
Ooh.
And then I was like, I think I would play a little scared if I had like $100,000 in front of me. So
Sure.
I'd like to maybe work my way up there one day, but right now, yeah, like I think like 25-50 is pretty much the biggest that I've kind of done.
Yeah, so there's two approaches, right? There's the slowly graduate your way up there, or you just do what Ethan does.
We love
and
Rampage.
You just
Yeah.
start firing, you know?
Yeah.
1, 3, 5, 10, 50, 100, you know? Fuck it, we ball.
What's the difference?
Who cares? Get in there.
Man.
Ethan has 6 Sunday.
I do love me some Rampage.
Yeah, we all do.
He's a goat. Big shout out to Rampage also kind of having our back a little bit on the Friday
Yeah.
stream whenever Nick Airball was firing his mouth. If you are double dipping this summer, let me know. I can fast track you in some spots, get you in some good games.
I definitely want to play a lot more tournaments this summer and just in general. Like I kind of look at this year as I'm going to be very active in music. Like I just released an album called Bob. But also I'm going to I really want to just do more than just show up for the main event, which is kind of like what I'd done in the past. So I'm going to be a lot more active, and part of that is watching this podcast every day.
Oh,
so
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
not if you're not
Right.
doing that,
A lot of
fucking up.
informative strat chat here.
Every
It's just
Wednesday.
to be in the world, just to feel the vibes.
Well, you're fucking in it now, man.
Yeah, yeah,
you're,
you are.
You're here. You're wading in the waters. I actually listened to your album this morning when I was at the gym. Did you just break up with someone?
Well, not just, but it is a breakup album.
It's
good.
100% a breakup
yeah.
album.
If you've gotten broken up with, this is the
is the
music
album
for
for
you.
you.
Yeah.
Big shout out to
100%.
Glenn or whoever's girlfriend you accidentally banged. But
Oh yeah, that's Ben.
Ben,
Ben and Glenn.
Ben, Glenn,
You're
same
very
thing.
good with rhyming people's names. Rick,
I might
Nick, Glenn, Ben.
potential
Yeah.
future here
I love it.
getting in the game.
Yeah, you
know?
got some rhymes.
That's
you got some
right.
rhymes on you. I like it.
Did that actually happen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, every word is completely real.
I don't know if you're trolling or not, but
No,
like,
he's being serious.
I gave you an insincere stare, but I'm being sincere.
yeah, legit. There's this song.
Yeah.
The name of the song is Ben or no?
Hey Ben.
Hey Ben. Okay.
Yeah,
So check out the album if you haven't already. It's on Spotify. But the name of the song is Hey Ben, and the entire premise behind it is he and this person he doesn't know are sleeping with the same girl.
Yes.
Where they both thought that they were
The
exclusive.
Main, exactly.
So were you both side pieces? That's
I
the
think
question.
I think I turned into the side piece accidentally. That's kind of
right.
what happened through it all. But yeah, and the really cool story about that is I wrote that song with Mark Hoppus from Blink-182.
Oh, sick.
Which is like the first time I've ever like really been starstruck in person with someone. I was like, I'm in Mark Hoppus's house. This is crazy. Like the 13-year-old me was, I'm just glad I didn't mess it up. So it was great.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
The album's fantastic.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
It's
Larry.
very funny to me because like when I was 13, like No Interruption was the song that kind of
I
blew
love
up.
that song.
It fucking blew up. I'm like, holy shit, it's the guy that made that song in the podcast room.
It's full circle. The world is so small.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of your first album, No Interruption. I have on loop all the time.
Thanks,
now
man.
that I know that it's royalty free, I'll mix it in with a little Leroy Town
Oh yeah,
on the streams.
I very much have always been like never like trying to claim anyone copyright. Like it makes no sense. You just give your music to creators, use however they want, and it's great exposure for
Yeah, it just
yourself
seems
as well.
like such a net positive
Completely.
for everyone.
The only
Yeah.
people who have really made that even problematic is like the record labels.
Right.
And I've sort of done all my music stuff without being signed to a label, so I get it. Like the benefit of just being available on the internet.
And then like Twitch, right? Because Twitch will like start giving DMCA strikes for people that have copyright music on their streams, and then you might get like banned from Twitch if you use music that doesn't have royalty free.
Hey, if you ever collaborate with Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
let me know. I'll be your assistant for the day.
I've met Taylor Swift before.
You have? Yeah?
Yeah, and I said something stupid. And,
I would. Well, I would.
and then
too.
I was like, oh, that was dumb.
What did you say? Do you remember? Can you tell us?
Oh, I think I said something like, oh, hi, yeah, I'm Hoodie Allen, not Woody Allen. And she was just like, okay. I was like,
No, but you're cooking though. You're cooking. You're cooking.
yeah, let him cook. Let him cook with that. Yeah, it wasn't good.
You guys are close in age, right?
Him and Taylor
Taylor
Swift. Yeah,
I
they're
think so, yeah,
about
yeah.
the same age. Yeah.
The irony is, I would
30,
wager without
30.
knowing that she doesn't know who Woody Allen is.
Yeah, she does.
I don't know, man.
I don't know who that is.
Are you kidding me? Taylor Swift is very cultured, knows a lot of things, and of course she
Don't you
knows who
talk
Woody
about
Allen
Tay Tay
is.
like that?
I mean, I'm just,
And she also knows who Hoodie Allen is because
Well,
they met.
His inner Swiftie is coming out.
it's,
That's right.
It's on his shirt, actually.
Send my
yeah.
girl over the, you know.
He got very upset by this. You've been in the game for like what, 11 years, 12 years now?
Yeah, basically been doing music for like 10 years.
What has that process been like? I mean, especially being independent, it seems like you kind of came in right as the digital wave was starting to hit. So this actually became an option to be independent.
Oh yeah, it's crazy because like music and how people like listen and discover music changes like every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It's like when I started, it was you're not going to be able to relate to this, but like music blogs.
No.
Does anyone remember listening on like internet blogs and no?
No, I was too
Yeah.
busy ripping songs for free off of Napster.
That's fair. That's super fair. But yeah, it just keeps changing. So it's always like with the TikTok, almost like, you know, potential ban. It's
Yeah.
like that's terrible for musicians.
Oh,
I think.
yeah,
and for
for
small
sure.
businesses and for everyone.
Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Well, specifically OnlyFans. I mean, talk about OnlyFriends. OnlyFans is absolutely channeling TikTok as their number one marketing funnel.
Yeah.
It's,
I didn't realize
it's ridiculous. I know this girl.
What does that say about your For You page?
Honestly, I don't even have the app downloaded. But, I mean, if I did, hypothetically speaking. But no, I know I'm friends with this girl, also an East Coaster from the AC area, and her first year doing OnlyFans, she posted no nudes. She just did like cosplay, and she used TikTok as the major funnel. She was making $65,000 a month. Wow. A month. Just building these TikTok pages. Like she would build a different TikTok page for each like different genre of cosplay, right? So it would be like, you know, anime, and she would just build a TikTok anime and get like 150,000 followers and then just funnel them to $5.99 a month. And like it was a rinse and repeat process that was a no, like how? I mean, I know how. I know how.
You know how.
But like, it just seems so crazy to me that this app that we're all hooked on has millions, maybe close to billions, if you include China, of people watching and following, are all just like drilling down on the sex aspect of it, where it's just like, oh, hot girl.
Yeah,
Where's
why
the
even
link?
use a solver ever?
Right.
Just
Like, what are we doing, man?
download OnlyFans.
What are we doing? This is not the way. Do you see like a big spike in your following and stuff like that through these social media platforms?
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of artists complain about using this stuff, but it's honestly great. I don't know. Do you guys post like poker content and clips everywhere?
Yeah.
Like it goes crazy, like YouTube Shorts and everything. It's such a great like tool. So yeah, I'm super.
It's
like,
so
for
hit or
it.
miss in our industry.
Yeah.
Like we have a TikTok page. There's maybe a dozen videos that we have, which will have like 100,000 to a quarter million watches or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we'll post something that's almost identical, and it'll get like 550 views.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like about resilience because like it gives you that dopamine when you get something,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I should keep doing this, and it's like, fuck you, we're gonna make sure no one sees your stuff. So yeah, you just have to keep going with it. I think.
I also think that like most of these platforms have like a covert suppression of gambling. So like maybe the difference
Right.
between the one that pops off and the one that doesn't is we say something along the lines of gamble or risk or whatever, and the algorithm just catches it and immediately suppresses it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of strange considering most of these platforms are being used to funnel people to pornography.
Sounds like you might need a solver for that instead of an OnlyFans.
Dude, if we had a YouTube algorithm solver, I wouldn't be starting fucking beefs on Twitter.
No.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
You starting beefs on YouTube?
I didn't know you started a beef on Twitter.
That was a good transition.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't start a beef. I ended one.
No shit.
Night night.
I guess we can chat a little bit about this, as you seem to be very interested.
I'm Switzerland.
No, I'm not saying you have a side. I'm just saying like you.
I know some of the people involved. I like everyone involved. So there's no delineation. But yeah.
But you're grinning at the sight of blood. Like,
Yeah, let's go. I love drama. Give it to me. Inject it into my veins. I love a good quote tweet.
I quote tweet it really is the new
It's
fuck
fire.
you in Twitter land. I didn't really intend on. We've been talking about it since Doug dropped his video last week of like, okay, do we respond? If we respond, like, what's the proper way of going about this? Obviously, he's really great at memeing and dunking and doing what he does. So, whatever it is that we do, we should expect it to be retaliatory. I was just like, you know what? Now that I've accepted this match and my focus is going to be on training and playing Rick Airball for the next however long, why don't I just fade into the ether? Because Twitter seems like a cesspool.
Yeah.
May as well just like
Seems like or is.
Well, I don't know. It has its moments, but I felt like yesterday, as I was like kind of gathering all my resources and realizing how much time I was gonna have to set aside for all this, it was like perfect. This means I have no time for social media. It's time for me to just Homer Simpson into the bushes and just drop one more fuck you to everybody that has had something to say over the last week or so. So I didn't really hesitate. Usually I would run this kind of stuff by the team and be like, hey, this is the message I'm gonna like put out there. Like, do we expect any strays to come our way? Like, how do you guys feel about it? But yesterday I was just kind of like, nah.
I thought it was perfect.
I was like, I don't want to get this one downvoted by anybody.
No.
Like, it's just
It was
going.
good. It was good.
Nah, it was a good one. Actually, I just read something on Twitter. Max Silver just tweeted, "Don't believe everything you read on Twitter. Doug Polk and Berkey have been close friends for years. This whole thing is obviously engineered to goad Nick locked into a high-stakes heads-up match.
Oh, God.
Well played, guys. Have fun divvying up the money." What in the fuck?
Yep.
I'm so
Yeah.
lost right now.
No, you've caught us. You're on to the scam. Now that he's agreed, I can let the cat out of the bag. Doug's actually been my backer for the last 15 years. It's been a wonderful, warm relationship. I couldn't appreciate the man anymore. No, honestly though,
It's
like I
4D
said this.
chess, you guys are playing 4D chess. He makes this really roast video on you, gets the
Right.
people going, gets you to play a format that you actually don't want to play at all,
Or
and
have ever studied for that
or
matter.
have ever studied, and here we are now. It's the perfect plan.
Yeah, no, that's actually not what happened. That sounds like something that my man Progress would tweet. That this is you have any collabs in the works with?
No. No collaboration.
I don't know, man. He kills the TikTok game. Like, I don't know if you saw that Humpty Hump he got going on, but
Yeah. I have a question though.
yeah, go ahead.
So that beef is real. That's a legit beef for you. Like, is it like?
Oh yeah.
Like, is it on site in person or what is it? What is the like the level to this?
I'm a grown man with no interest in fist fights.
Okay, but so yeah, take out the physical aspect.
Well,
like,
let's not at first, because I will say that over the last 25 years of my life, I have not had any urge to get into a fight. I haven't been pushed to that. But, I was bullied a lot as a young kid who was dirt poor and fat and didn't fit in. And I took a lot of punches to the face. And eventually, you don't want to tolerate that anymore. And something just snaps inside of you. I felt that last week. Mm-hmm. I haven't had the urge to punch someone in the face in decades.
Potentially.
If given the opportunity in that exact moment when that video dropped, Doug was standing in front of me laughing, I would have headbutted him in the nose and I wouldn't have felt bad about it.
That I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I was just like this fucking guy.
I just genuinely in my heart of hearts loathe him as a human being.
Yes, he's just awful. He's just an awful, awful person. And it's like, and then I felt personally, he didn't personally attack me, but he did because I'm part of this company, and for him to just I know what this company is, right? I've been around. I know how hard everybody works. I know what great content we put out, and for him to just come in and just fucking smear campaign and say all this bullshit that isn't true, I was enraged.
I mean, he's the
I was fucking
he's the
enraged.
literal Tucker Carlson of this industry.
Yeah, right. He is.
He's just really, really.
I felt, but Burke, I know how you feel because I was like, oh fuck, that son of a bitch is in front of me right now.
Listen, Matt,
passed.
Yeah.
you might
passed,
be above potentially fighting a grown man, but the tortoise is coming for you slowly, dog.
Right.
He's coming slowly. If he sees him,
Listen, I'm not no physical violence. As much as I want to, that's not what we do. But I'll give him a fucking piece of my mind if I see him this summer. Right? Goddamn.
It's just it's a small world. You guys like have to pass each other. At
Well,
some
that's
point,
the part
right?
that I don't understand is like, you know, at some point we're going to be on stream again together. And he is just going to feel however he feels. And he will try to throw in some like sharp jab. I mean, we've played on stream together before. And it's just like, it's so abundantly clear to me that his team behind him is a lot of where the wit and the snappiness and the edits and all that stuff come from.
Right.
Like we've played on stream a bunch and you can just sit there and see his wheels turning where it's just like, okay, we've been here for an hour and I haven't gotten a good jab in yet. Like where can I work it in? And like, as somebody who kind of grew up verbally sparring a lot, has that competitive nature, it's like, that's not the way that like wit really comes out well, you know? And you don't try to be funny. You don't feel like you need to manufacture it. It's like spots just present itself and you sit there quiet until it does. So at some point we're going to play on stream together and I'm sure he's going to come with like written fucking material that, you know, like it's a battle rap that he's been preparing for months. And
Well, I got you if it's a battle rap.
Yes.
Yeah.
now we're talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you gotten into any beefs?
Yeah, I've got some beef experience for sure.
what you got?
Like actually
No, nothing like just, you know, like if you're a rapper at some point you make, you know, diss tracks and whatnot. So yeah, if you need a ghostwriter, you at least know one person who can help.
I mean,
Maybe two.
I'm not trying to get into a rap battle.
That would be great though. That's great content though.
We got two. We got my boy Thesaurus as well.
Oh,
Pete
yeah.
Morris.
He's probably a
nasty.
better battle rapper than me, so maybe go there first.
Run it by the advisory
I'll be
council.
back up. Yeah. I'll just on the council. For
Wait, I want to hear more about like the rap culture side of it though. Like, what has driven you into diss tracks and like, was it kind of the same thing, like clout building, or is it just like people come at you hard and you have to respond?
No, I mean honestly, in the past I usually put my own foot in my mouth because like something will happen personally in real life, and I you know I come from growing up listening to you know Nas and Jay-Z and like you know all these like really amazing music that has come out of kind of conflict, and I'm like, oh, so I just you know if I have a problem I'll just kind of sneak diss it into a rap. But you know I also sometimes forget that like I'm kind of like a pop rap guy mixture, and some of the fans are like, why would you say something mean about this other guy that I like? I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry guys, I didn't mean to. It's all good, we're all friends. So yeah, beefs are complicated. You have to have like the temperament to go through it, and you know sometimes I'll do that and then be like, ugh, I don't like the response back, you know?
Yeah.
So
Well, I imagine like it's similar, right? It's a competitive space.
totally.
So, you know, everybody's always trying to like one up and make sure that they hold over on others. But in yours, it's probably a lot more relatable to like the poker training space, right? Because in actual poker, you just compete, right? Like whether it's heads up matches or you just put in volume against one another because you perceive each other to be the spot. At the end of the day, the money will kind of do the talking. But whenever you're talking about like trying to vie for popularity, because when it comes to training or you know music, whatever the case may be, you're really just trying to capture people's interest. And at that point, I see where these tactics are really effective. And it's tough because if you're not kind of willing to play the game, you do get left behind in a big way. Like nobody's ever going to question how big Polk is in this industry. He by far has the biggest megaphone and has built the biggest platform. But a lot of it is off the backs of the people that he kind of stepped on along the way. And it's like, well, if the idea was to become popular, he's definitely the most successful. And, you know, taking the quote unquote diss track route seems to be a pretty effective tool.
Especially when sometimes that allows you to play somebody heads up in a format that you know very, very well for 7 figures when he did it to D-Negs.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, I don't really know how that stuff happened, but now they're just like the best of friends.
So imagine like I don't know how versed you are at battle rapping, but I would assume not very, just because that's not your background.
Fine.
I beat that one.
Continue. Wow. I see. I'm slowly shifting to the opposite.
Switch is moving.
I'm just saying, it's like that's not what I know you for. Just
no,
like
it's easy. Go on.
you should assume I'm not very well versed in heads up. But like, imagine that like somebody who that's their entire career, that's all they've ever done, like goads you into a 7-figure match to battle rap.
For
them.
sure. Yeah, you'd have your guard up, being like, this is a bait.
Yeah.
You have to figure out.
But like at some point you fall for it.
For sure, because there's ego involved still. Because if we care about what you do, they're gonna have ego involved to some extent where you're like, I gotta defend my honor. I gotta step up. So I don't know. To this whole thing to me is so interesting because I feel like there's like two levels to it. Because there is like the subjective, like who's gonna win on Twitter thing.
Yeah.
And then like, well, when you play these matches, there is a definitive winner in terms of the match itself and what's more important. And I don't know. I think everyone potentially has different goals or a couple different goals.
It's weird because obviously winning the money is more important, but it's less in your control, right? So winning at Twitter is almost like a security blanket because if you win the court of public opinion, then the variance of the actual match itself kind of doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day, we're playing 5,000 hands. If either of us win $1 million, I would be shocked. And that's not to say that like a 10 buy-in swing is that uncommon heads up. It's more so just that like with the sample being as small as it is and with the depth of the stacks being as great as they are, it's just hard for the money to get all in over and over and over again.
Right.
Over this like small sample.
And lose them repeatedly.
Right. Yeah. And like be on the ass end of it. So it's like, at the end of the day, like it's probably going to be a 3 or 4 buy-in swing one way or the other. Good.
Sorry, there's a pressing question in the chat.
Please.
Is there any truth to the rumor that you're funding your buy-in from your secret OnlyFans?
Yes.
Okay.
This is absolutely true.
Thanks, Snoop Dogg.
I've been very successful on the OnlyFans
A lot
app.
of TikTok funneling.
It's not what you think, though.
pics, yeah.
It's not what you think. It's not all dick pics and me flexing in a mirror.
If you've ever seen on cast, you never see him in sandals. It's because those puppies sell for a lot.
I do have remarkable feet, by the way. That is not a joke.
You can find them on WikiFeet as well.
No, not this again.
Actually, what I sell is just hardcore alt-right takes. I have a total other life that you guys don't know about, where I just really clamor to the neo-Nazis of the United States of America.
Christ.
Give them all the rhetoric that they want,
Oh my
God. And
God.
then we move on. We come back and we're normal again. There's a market for this.
Everybody has their outlets,
Imagine.
Of course, there's a market for it. Trump's been doing it for a long time.
Right. You understand.
You think we don't know, but Prahlad has always known.
Prahlad's my number one. He's my number one donator.
Burke, I think most people probably saw the tweet, but for those who don't know, maybe run down the terms of this match.
Sure. We are playing 3 days a week. So the idea was Nick wanted, to his credit, the man wants to battle. He literally wanted to play 30 days straight, 6 hours a day.
You don't have time for that.
I'm just like, bro,
don't.
I
would step in and be like, he's got 2 academies to run. Like, no, we need him.
I was just like, man, 42 hours a week is an awful lot. Can we, be reasonable? I have other priorities. How about 20 hours a week? And he's like, okay, I think we can work with that. And initially it was like, still going to be 7 days a week. I was like, look, like, let's just carve out 3 days. You have other shit you want to do. You want to play Hustler Fridays. Like, let's not step on each other's toes here. Let's just play the weekends. It's a lot more clear for me. And then you don't have to keep traveling a bunch. So we're doing Saturday, Sunday, Mondays, 6.5 hour long sessions, 100 hours total. Or, so basically the winner can never quit until 100 hours is met.
Right.
Alternatively, if you're down $1 million, you can opt out at any point in time.
Okay.
I think that's the major terms. There's a 10K penalty if you decide to quit a session early or you miss a session. That's not to be confused with just saying like you quit. and pay a 10K penalty for the remaining hours. It doesn't work that way. It's literally just a caveat. The hours still have to be made up regardless.
So there's a no quit. You can't quit.
If you're down $1 million, you can quit.
But
the winner can never quit.
Okay.
So you can't like get up 500K and have, call it 5 sessions remaining and just say, I'm going to give you 50K. We're done.
Okay. What if you're down 300K and
You can pay 700 and quit, but that would obviously be silly.
Got you. Understood.
So what happens
So
if
there's
he is up 500 and then he actually quits?
What
is the
I guess that's a good question. We didn't really have a penalty in place. Well, he would have to pay 10K for
That's what I
every
thought.
scheduled match that he misses forever.
Like indefinitely.
Yeah, indefinitely. And enforcing that obviously is not very easy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a negative free roll for me, I guess, because if
He can
like
quit
the
the
inverse could never
industry.
happen. He could destroy my rep. If I were the one who was up like 500K and just said like, okay, I'm done, I would just get dragged. Whereas like him getting dragged, he doesn't have much of a rep to sully. So I guess like from that vantage point,
I think it's a very low probability of that happening.
Yeah.
I know it won't happen on your side, but I don't think that will happen.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, getting hit and ran would be brutal.
Yeah.
You can just show up at Hustler every Friday and collect 30K. What are you talking about?
I mean, they're not.
Hey,
I don't know
Nate,
if you noticed,
time
man.
to pay 30K.
I don't know if you noticed, but they're not letting me back in the building anytime
I mean,
soon.
you be outside.
My man, Hood, I'm gonna have to train you up and send him.
Yeah, I can put in a good word for you, but it might be a little too late.
I don't understand. I did them a goddamn favor. They're more secure now. People are putting eyes on them. They got rid of Garrett. What more could they ask for?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. They owe Robbie the world. Imagine if that hand never happened.
Oh my God.
We might no, I don't know. I was gonna say we might.
What happens if that hand doesn't happen?
Yeah, I don't know. We might see a random stream in Texas overtake them, I guess.
I think the show's gotten so much better since then.
I mean,
Personally, as a viewer,
explain.
it's more entertaining. I mean, like I don't. There's no beef with Nick, right? Like, or is there?
Between me
Between
and
you guys.
Bertucci?
No, sorry.
Or Airball?
Airball.
I literally have never met this guy. I have no beef. I mean, like
I played with him before. I like him a lot.
I'm very bothered that he called me a scammer.
Well, yeah, that's but
But
I
that's
guess
just
I'm,
from an integrity standpoint, right?
I think I guess I'm I didn't get called a scammer, so I guess I can't internalize what that feels like. But I know that there's an entertainment aspect that I think is preceding everything else.
Yeah,
for
I don't
him,
mind the
probably.
character that he plays.
Yeah.
I don't mind that he called me out to play heads up. Like literally, just the line is drawn for me at
Sure.
false accusations of being a scammer.
Yeah.
But he seems fine. He seems fun. He seems good for TV and good for the show.
I think you guys are going to be best friends.
I don't think that is going to happen.
That would be funny.
I actually feel quite confident that that's not
Would
going to
you become
happen.
best friends?
I'm largely debating whether or not I need to wear headphones.
Yeah, so many people have said that. I highly doubt you will ever.
I don't think I can. I've just never worn headphones like in those settings, especially heads up. But
It seems a little tough after a guy calls your character into question to just become best friends with him. I mean, I understand. I mean, who knows what his motives is? I mean, maybe his motive is just to get you to play. But
I mean,
Maybe his motive is
like-
to become your best friend.
maybe it is. Well, that's a bad way to go around it.
it might work if he just gets to be the whale that I bring to all the games.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like we joked about like Doug and I being partners and everything else, but like I said 3 months ago or so, I missed him making content because when he was trashing me, my business was good. Like I just get to play so much more poker when he puts up low light hands that I've played and suddenly a bunch of seats open.
The conspiracy is back, baby.
in that, with that in mind, it would be pretty optimal for you to lose this battle. Then, yeah,
Nah.
like
there's too much money.
zoom out. Like it's not the worst thing ever. Then
I mean, I think I've established that I suck hard enough to get the seats. Let me just make a couple million off this dude and fade into the sunset. I'd be pretty content with that. Does anything like this exist in your industry where like there's just an opportunity at a very large sum of money?
people making fake NFT collections.
Right.
Besides that, I don't know if I can think of anything.
That's kind of like the equivalent of us running app games.
The old rug
Yeah.
pulls, you know.
Yeah.
So You said that you were called a scammer before. From any creators in particular?
Oh
or is
no,
it-
I was saying to be honest, I kind of forgot that was the impetus for this actually happening.
Right.
I was like, oh, yeah, there's like beef with Doug, and then somehow you and Nick are playing. That was a pretty good bait, I guess. Yeah. For it to happen. But no, I don't think I've been called a scammer before.
It's tough.
But
it's tough as an artist to really scam anybody.
maybe I've scammed people out of an album they thought was going to be better, perhaps.
Sure.
They want their $9.99 back off of iTunes. That could definitely be the case.
Man, remember iTunes? Imagine still
I
paying
do.
for music.
I wish. those were the days. Then I could play on the Friday streams,
Right.
and the 100, 200s for sure.
Yeah.
How was that stuff kind of when it comes to the profit splits of creator to iTunes? And because now it's mostly just through streaming services, right?
Yeah, well, streaming services, like basically Spotify, you'll get like $4,000 for every million streams, which is, I guess, not that much. It's really a volume game. So if you're like, there's definitely like a middle economy of artists that have kind of sort of been screwed by streaming a little bit, because like, where it used to be buy an album for $10, people don't really do that as much anymore.
No.
I've heard of people getting like checks for like 37 cents from Spotify and stuff like that.
Oh, they need to get their streams up then. For sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough.
It's definitely tough.
37 cents is a good check in the mirror of like, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah. It's definitely, I mean, it's just tough to do anything you love is tough,
Yeah, that's true. But here you are. You've made it. Album number 4?
Probably, I don't even know how to count albums anymore, but yeah, there's been a lot of them.
It's tough to follow on Spotify too. It's like, check out the remaining EPs, and you click it, and it's like this long list, but like 5 of them are just one song.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, the organization's weird on there.
Yeah.
But that's why I think I'm going to quit music and just go full time into poker and beefs and
Oh my God. Please cue the
Send
Billy
it.
Madison meme where I just grab his cheeks and say, don't you ever leave.
I just want to know who I should,
Start beef with?
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you want to start beef with? Let's start there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It needs to be someone who also isn't fully a pro.
Isn't fully committed.
Isn't fully committed.
I mean, there have to be other musicians that play poker, right? We got to start there.
Nelly.
Oh, Nelly's a nit though.
Nelly. Oh,
Nelly's
yeah.
low key is super, super nit.
That'd be crazy if you got into like it's another rapper, but you actually get in a poker beef with Nelly instead of a rap beef with him.
I love Nelly though.
Yeah,
His
he's
catalog,
great.
he's
No, yeah, of course, sure.
Air Force Ones,
Yep.
Country Grammar.
Oh, Nelly's
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna
best.
start. If there's a call out to Nelly, see me in the 510 streets. I'll be at the Borgata
That's right.
for the next month, 30 days straight.
He used to play a fair amount of like 1020 at the Bellagio back
Yeah.
whenever I was coming up.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, he was a low key nit.
You just show up and
Yeah.
I remember a
jumping
hand
in
I
the
stacked him. I flopped a straight and he flopped a set of 7s. And it took every bit of convincing for him to put in his 150 big blinds. It was
Honestly, I think that's relatively common with like celebrities when they play. Like they seem more nitty. I think just because they're inexperienced, and it's just like, oh, this person has a lot of money. They're just gonna throw their money in, but they don't want to look dumb. And I think they're, being inexperienced, they don't want to just like fire off a lot of money. I'm sure some do, but like, we played with DiCaprio that one time at Venetian. He played super tight too.
Yeah, he played tight
Right?
everywhere though. Like Nelly
Yeah.
was like loose pre-tight post, which is strange whenever you flop a hand like as strong as a set. I think I had like 6-4 and it was like
Yeah.
7-5-3.
Right. It's like, okay, you
and
can
he just
get
has
it
like
in
top set of 7s
Yeah.
and like doesn't want to put the money
there.
in.
Right. That one you want to go with.
I want to change my call out.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it Drake instead.
There we go.
You can make a lot more
money.
Yeah, for sure.
And he likes to gamble.
There
This
you
is
go.
true.
Yes.
You might be able to
So-
get a stake.com fucking sponsorship too.
That's what I'm saying.
does that mean you guys are gonna play heads up, or you guys are gonna try like a home game going, and you guys can have
I'll
beef
do
with the
whatever,
home game?
whatever, Drake. You name it. You name stakes.
Throw Mickey on there. He's not a musician, but he's in LA. You get the good games. Probably a
What
good one.
about Adam 22?
Oh, I've never met him, but we follow each other on Twitter, and I know he plays a fair bit.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder who like the best in your guys' mind. Who's the best non like someone who comes from, I don't
Call
know,
it
like
specialty poker player.
Sure, yeah. Who's the most talented person you've seen, or like the best? That's who I want to come for next.
That's who you want to go for?
Yeah.
Honestly, Adam 22 is up there.
Okay.
Con Volk is up there. Our friend Alex, musician as well.
Cool.
As far as I know, for sure. But they actually study and try and like want to get good at poker. So from that regards, I would put them up there at the top of the list.
Okay, Drake. There you go, Drake. We're going for you.
I think, man, I got to tell you, in my experience, people with celebrity status, not very good at the game. Just generally, you want them in there. Kevin Hart takes it very, very, very seriously. Very seriously. But he plays mostly PLO and also low-key a little on the tight side.
I think that's just most people in general when they first start playing poker. Because I know when I first started playing poker, not that I'm a celebrity at all by any means, stretch of the imagination, because I'm not. But like, you just always start and see the game from a lens of value.
Yeah.
Right? So you always kind of want to make sure your money goes in good. You don't really have that other side of you unless you are the gamble-esque type where you're like, oh, I'm just trying to play big pots and run it with bluffs. That's so rare to find. But then once you realize how good bluffing is, then you start trying to dump in all the money with all the bluffs.
Well, good news is you have these content games.
Yeah, those are cool. Those are really fun. But I'd love to play against like Rampage and guys like that as well, who kind of,
Toe the line.
toe the line. Exactly.
Yeah. The line to play with Ethan used to be very long. It's starting to get a little shorter.
Yeah.
The man's showing up. He's getting shit done. Well, I should ask this in the opposite order I was going to. What are your touring plans for the new album, if any?
Oh, honestly, I did a lot of touring already, so I think I'm mostly gonna just be making new music and showing up to random poker events, like spawning randomly places. I think something to do. Like,
Is that like commonplace for you to tour prior to the album launch?
No, very, very not commonplace. But maybe I'll get a tour at like the end of this year or something like that. Probably.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I looked at my calendar. I was like, I'm gonna play some some of the World Series this year.
Yes.
I'm playing the USPO on Friday, Thursday, so that should be short. That should take up a couple hours of my day, maybe. And yeah, But wouldn't it be cool if I final tape that? That'd be cool.
You've played one of them already, right? The USPO?
Yeah, it was short.
It was short. But
Yeah.
what was the experience like in general when it comes to going to the Poker Go studio and that sort of side of it all?
It was cool. Like I'm really, my main experience is playing in these huge, 5,000, 3,000 person, fields, which are way different to navigate and also filled with different, like a variety of skill levels. And I just was looking around the table yesterday. I didn't recognize everyone, but there was what's his name? Andrew Lichtenberg.
Yeah, Chewy.
I was like, oh, he's very good.
Yes.
So that's fun. And then I think his name's Shannon Shore.
Yep.
Also
Yeah,
very
so
good.
he busted me. I was like, well, that's cool. That's a cool story. But I just looking around, I looked up, oh, who was at my table? I was like, everyone's got like 5 million in cashes. I was like, oh, so it's me. I'm in Taylor Swift. I'm the problem. It's me. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's a cool experience too. That's kind of the reason why I wanted to even play it to kind of. I feel like you can learn when you're kind of testing yourself in a harder field as well, even if it doesn't go your way.
Yeah.
You got to gain that experience.
Definitely. And there's a lot to be said even kind of showing up and playing these, because these for the USPO, like 10Ks and stuff, they're definitely not like, are the tournaments good for a 10K? Yeah, sure, of course they're good for a 10K. But at the same time, when it comes to the elite in the field, they are so good and study so much. And every single hand has this back of the mind, is this even right? Do I even know what I'm doing? And like, it's always that constant learning standpoint, that just being in that arena, in the environment, trying to get better and trying to see kind of how far you feel from that, and the comfortability aspect can't be replicated through just playing like in an online setting or playing against like the machine or whatever.
Oh, for sure. I found myself playing way more passively than I normally would. Like spots where I'd be like, oh, of course I'm 3-betting out of the big blind here, just being like, maybe I'll just see a flop and I'll try to set mine, and and then that approach just slowly.
You lose that way.
Yeah, I slowly lost that way, but I was like, well, I got to play for 5 hours till I, like, on a 20 big blind stack, just miserable essentially. But yeah, it was a good experience.
That's the transition from cash game player to MTT players. When you first start playing from cash to MTTs, you're like, 20 big blinds, that's like nothing. And then you start playing MTTs for a long time, you're like, 20 big blinds, that's a fucking ton.
yeah. I had to switch that mentality for sure.
It takes a while. It takes a lot of losing. A lot of tournaments.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Where are you mostly located out of now? Still the East Coast?
Yeah, New York.
Okay, so where do you mostly play?
Honestly, when I come like to LA is probably the most I play. When I'm in New York, there's really no options. My parents love to go to the Borgata and play craps. Hopefully I didn't just dox there. So sometimes I'll come along with them and just to be a good son. But for the most part, there's not.
I think Parks is pretty good a couple days a week.
Yeah. But I haven't really played there all that much. I played there maybe a few times.
Would you ever consider doing like a dual tour where you're touring for music and kind of grinding on the side?
Well, that's the crazy thing is I've turned like when I'll do a tour, I'm like such a degenerate now that when you go on tour, usually you play a show and you have to get on your tour bus to leave for the next city by like 3 a.m. But maybe the show ends at like midnight. So I'll look at those 2 or 3 hours. I'm in like Pittsburgh. I was like, going to Rivers.
Yeah.
Go sit at like 2-4 with like 5 like 80-year-old guys.
Sure. That's accurate. That's an accurate description of Rivers 2-5.
Yeah, they were great. They were lovely, honestly. But I found it like, I'll now like I was just in Europe and we had an off day in Berlin and I was like, I wonder what the casinos are like in Berlin. So I went.
Rake traps is the answer.
I went and played, and apparently you have to wear like a jacket, a suit.
Yeah.
So I came dressed like this. I had to rent a jacket from them.
Nice.
Which cost like 10 euro or something.
Rake trap.
Yep.
And then just waited for the game. Kind of got drunk because they didn't have a seat for me, and I guess they only had like one table of 5-10.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I won, and I put some people on the guest list for the show. So it was just
was the jacket
time.
Cool?
No. not a very cool
Did
jacket.
They give you like a leather jacket or something?
No, it was like a suit jacket. Like a suit jacket. It was
a blazer.
That's a new look. Berkey likes that look, the suit jacket over
With the
top
hood?
the hoodie.
Yeah.
They made me take off the hoodie. I had to,
geez.
and it was so embarrassing because
I didn't have a shirt on underneath.
well, even worse, a fan had given me a T-shirt that was like a drawing they made of me, like that they like, and so I had put that underneath because I was like, I'm chilling. So then I just had a shirt with myself on it and the blazer on top, and I was like, this is a look, this is a vibe, but I'm in Germany, so whatever.
Yeah, you're just vibing, man.
I'm just vibing out.
It's bad when you have a
crazy.
picture of yourself on a shirt and people are just like,
They're very confused.
Yeah.
I almost went for the inside out look, and I was just like, nah, screw it.
Yeah, you gotta own
Full
it.
send it.
Just
Yeah.
own it.
You just have to own it at that point. I'm really curious, like about like the specifics around touring and how you go about it, especially since you're an independent artist. So like, how do you go about booking? How much say do you have in venues and stuff like that? Are you negotiating all this stuff? And then I guess tell me a little bit more about like just the years past, like all the places that you've been, things of that nature.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, touring is one of my favorite things to do. I do have a booking agent who does
That's
the
nice.
negotiations and the routing, but I'm very collaborative with it. So I kind of know where. I love analytics, which is probably why I like poker and stuff like that. Like I'll get in the weeds and be like, this is where we should play in this city. And I've probably my favorite places to go, or usually are outside of the U.S. Like I went to Australia once. That was amazing.
Love Australia.
I played in Guam, like
Really?
literal Guam.
Okay.
Guam is sick.
Really?
Guam is awesome.
Wow.
So I'd love to go back there one day. But yeah, London, the UK, anywhere where you're like, how do people know you over here? I don't know. I'm sure you've traveled a bunch for poker too, right?
Less
Like,
than you would think.
Really?
Outside of the States, it's really only been like the Bahamas and Australia.
I wanted to do that Bahamas one so bad.
Man, it's such a fun trip.
Yeah.
That felt like a thing I could get my girlfriend to be convinced to come to.
Yeah.
And just be on the beach.
Yeah, it's a beautiful resort. It's a long enough trip where you get to kind of have downtime and enjoy yourself as well, which I don't know how touring goes. I would imagine you're just kind of like
Very rigid.
on it.
Yeah. I mean, there's some downtime, but like it's very structured. Your day is built out with meet and greets and sound checks and the show. And now you get older, like it's you get done with it. You're like, oh man, I'm tired. I'm wrecked. So yeah, it adds up.
Do you have a preference when it comes to like recording music versus performing live?
Oh man, they kind of like it's almost like a very cyclical nature because one washes the other.
Sure.
But I think ultimately I love creating the most. So like I like writing, the feeling of like starting a song and finishing it. That's probably my favorite. With
that being said, if you had the option to, like, say you could earn as much or more as you do currently as, you know, Hoodie Allen, the persona, would you prefer to just be like a ghostwriter who's just constantly creating the lyrics and bringing this thing to fruition?
No, I mean, I like to write with other people and for other people, but there's something about, like, there's a sense of pride when you've like made something and you get to kind of put it out and say, hey, I made this, and people write to you and say like, oh, this song really changed my life. And I'm like, really? This song is about getting cheated on by a guy named Ben, but, you know, it's weirdly relatable, unfortunately. So
I was waiting for the twist ending where like you, Ben, and the girl just all kind of came to grips with what was going on and hung out.
That song was like letting him know for the first time in real life. So that's yeah.
Shout out to Ben.
Shout out to Ben.
Man.
Speaking of
No
writing
double
songs
three-way.
and doing songs for others, we have a thing that I've talked to you about very briefly.
Oh God.
Yeah.
About for the main event, we have a song/music video we want to do for Brian, for getting Brian in the main.
But I thought this was a secret.
No, this was known.
We've been talking openly about this for a very long time.
Okay,
We
gotcha.
joked about having you involved.
This is my ghostwriting, yes.
Yeah. Well,
Welcome
I see something a little bit more. I'm seeing more like T-Pain, I'm on a boat type of cameo here.
little parody action.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I would love nothing more than the tortoise rolling down the halls of Paris with smoke filled everywhere, and you kind of leading the way with the mic.
This is like
we're
we're
the
gonna,
tortoise in the main verse.
Right.
You know?
I mean, it gives the song some credibility.
Right, right,
It gets the
right.
people
Yeah.
going.
whatever Helmuth does, we have to put it to shame.
Right,
Essentially.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine that Helmuth's entrance gets big timed
Yeah.
by Brian fucking LaManna.
It's in the main.
Is this gonna be your first main?
No,
No,
he's never missed one.
It is
going to
be
15 times.
It's gonna be your first main as the tortoise.
As the tortoise.
Yeah, so this is the
Yeah.
tortoise's first time in the main.
tortoise's first.
Does that mean you're gonna show up with the costume? I think you have to.
I might.
If I'm doing an appearance, I want like you know that guy on TikTok who like dresses up as a tortoise. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What?
Like full face paint and like the shell.
No.
No, but
There's a
I,
guy.
That's you.
I don't know about the face paint.
It's a look.
Seems a little.
Or he's a gecko. Maybe he's a
I'll do
gecko.
what I gotta do. I'm in for all of it. Let's.
He might be a gecko, but it's a good like Pinterest board for inspo for what you
Yeah.
should
To one up
potentially do.
Helmuth, what I want
Right.
you to do though is get one of those pastrami sandwiches from a Jewish deli in the East Coast and bite it into
Just
it sideways.
destroy it.
That sounds so good. I love.
It's
it.
way better
I
than
love-
Primanti's. So
Wait a second.
yeah, that's a Pittsburgh
Nah,
shot.
Primanti's is shit.
I know.
Look,
What?
I'm a Yinzer through and through, but let's call a spade a spade.
I
Primanti's
love-
is shit.
I love Primanti's. What are you talking about?
It's literally a garbage plate.
It's
mean,
so
it's-
good. Yeah, you know, French fries and coleslaw and gabagool and you know. Just,
All right, so for everybody who is not in the know, Primanti Brothers is a Pittsburgh now chain. They actually have them in like Fort
right.
Lauderdale
Okay,
and shit.
if you go to like the outside chains,
No, the
it's like
chains actually aren't that bad. The original Primanti Brothers, look, the origin is very important here because it describes why it's
just
truly
have
shit.
arguments with Berkey about food because he just doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I'm not going to argue with him there,
Pitts-
but Primanti's is shit.
So Pittsburgh is, a coal mining
Beautiful
town by
sandwich.
trade,
Look
a
at
steel town by trade, and with that came a lot of truckers. So early in the 40s, 50s, somewhere along that line, Primanti Brothers was developed as a truck stop type of restaurant.
Way to get your entire meal into one sandwich.
Exactly. So every sandwich comes with.
Hoodie's face is just like, what is
It's just
happening?
Pittsburgh food is so like you guys think you're like the best like food town. And you're like so overrated. And,
Oh, stop it! You're comparing it to New York City.
Yeah.
the Mecca.
Where do you
of-
think? Where do you think all of our immigrants came from?
There are some very good spots in Pittsburgh, but I mean, yeah, when you're comparing it to New York City or Vegas, which
Yeah,
are
of
like
course.
the center of the food universe,
Of course,
Florida.
compared to every other fucking.
I will be realistic about that.
Right. We're not
Comparatively
trying to
speaking.
compete with New York City. We're
Yeah.
trying to compete with Baltimore, and it's infinitely better than
Oh,
Baltimore.
you're killing it. Good job beating Baltimore.
Well, I mean, it's better than Philly too.
Crabs.
It's like
They have crabs. I don't know. I think you're kind of dead.
It's just crap
Pittsburgh
sauce.
is
Yeah,
not
you're
better
dead.
than Philly.
Philly has
you're
Philly
bugging.
cheesesteaks, but like outside of that, it's not like they have amazing cuisine. Like we have Italian food, Polish food.
Like they don't have Italian food.
No.
Greek
You
food.
don't, it's not that they don't have it. Of course they have it. I'm saying Pittsburgh has like they're rich with it. You know, you can go get a homemade pierogi at any given time, any day of the week.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Is that something to be happy about?
Yes. Have you ever had a fucking homemade
Pierogies are good.
pierogi?
Oh, so good.
Clearly not.
But
I don't know if you guys have this, but in Jersey, like delis are a huge
Yeah,
part of,
they're.
Right. That's
We originated chipped ham, man.
that's
Isley's chipped ham.
I know, but that's not what a real good deli has. Like I'm on
Here
their
we
side.
go. The
No,
fucking processed meats guy. Go.
well, okay, yes. Well, like if you want like
You want some
if
good cured
listen,
meats,
if-
you gotta
listen,
get
you're
some
not- you're-
capicola.
Right. If you want a good sandwich, you go to New York and New Jersey. That's the best spot. Like I can't argue that. Like obviously, like you said, you go to the Jewish delis and you get the pastrami sandwiches. Or you go to a good deli and you get the salami and the gabagol and the mortadella.
Tom
Great.
Brunson, you can thank Tortoise in this conversation. I'll be
Shout
at
out to
Roma right
Shout
after
out
this.
To Roma. Yeah, I've been there. It's great.
I go all the time. I went the other
Yeah.
day. It's so good. Their
Yeah.
sandwiches are so good.
They are.
I usually get a Roma sandwich and take the ham or whatever, the capricorn or whatever it is, and I put turkey. Awesome.
Brian's not happy with that.
It's all right.
Oh, man,
You
it
do
just
you,
I will
died
say
a
that
little.
sandwich looks amazing though, Brian.
Thanks.
I want it.
The
so
Permane
bad.
sandwich?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that looks so good.
Yeah,
not.
it is.
It's really not. It's,
Really?
it's absolute shit.
Oh.
It's truly shit. I mean, it's a sandwich that's constructed of like some shitty white bread, coleslaw, French fries, and then
Good
your choice
Italian
of
bread.
meat.
Good like Italian coleslaw, not like this shitty like random like with a bunch of like mayonnaise and shit in it. It's like
I
good
hate that
coleslaw. It's good
Made in the
fresh
basement coleslaw.
with with the olive oil, and it's got the red wine vinegar in it, and yeah, it's good.
Listen, man to man, yinzer to yinzer. Be honest with me. If this wasn't our hometown staple, would you actually like Permanis?
I like Perman. I get like I usually like if I go to like a Pirates game, I go to the Permanis station and get it like every time I'm there. I do like it. Yeah.
Is that because there's nothing else good at?
No.
No,
The
They also
stadium
got
has great food.
Quicker steak and lube.
That's right. We're the king of wings, baby.
Yeah, wings too.
We have
Really
all the
good.
best shit. We provide you with Heinz 57 for all of your French fried needs. we got homemade pierogies in the streets.
Yeah.
We got Little Italy that's just cranking out all the pasta and cured meats that you can handle.
sausage.
You realize
Sausages.
you
Charlie
realize
sausage.
the people that are really from the East Coast are just sitting here like rolling their eyes at you guys, right?
Stop comparing it to New York City, man. You think the entire East Coast is New York City.
No, but we can just go up and down. Oh, well, not up. Nobody
you don't.
goes past like.
No, you
New
go to
York.
Manhattan. That's it. You don't go anywhere beyond those four walls. And then you call the whole East Coast like, this must be what the rest of the East Coast is like. You ever been to Vermont, Conrad?
That is Canada.
You ever been to Connecticut?
That is also Canada.
See what I'm saying?
Connecticut's got great pizza. Connecticut's got great pizza.
Better than New York?
What?
Come on.
Yeah, so some of the places are considered
Really?
better.
That's the tri-state area has very
Vermont's
good pizza.
they got some good ice cream. Shout out to Ben and Jerry's.
Oh,
That's
man.
true. The way I see Pittsburgh is if you are not fortunate enough to be in New York City or Chicago, it combines the cuisine of those two cities pretty
There you
well.
go.
I've
Yeah.
never had Chicago deep dish pizza. I want to try it.
You should-
It's personally not for me, but people rave over
it's
it.
incredible.
I'm not really a
I've
sauce
only
guy.
grown up with.
It's to me it looks like almost a full pasta dinner rolled into a pie kind of thing.
It's kind of weird. I'm not a
yeah.
sauce guy, and it looks like there's a lot of sauce.
There's a lot of sauce.
It's a lot of
Yeah,
sauce.
it's like
It's a stew
lasagna.
to me.
You need a spoon to eat these things.
No, well, you need a fork.
Well, you
and
need
knife.
some sort of
You need a fork and knife.
Here's the thing: if you're in the mood for pizza, don't get deep dish pizza because
Yeah.
it's not pizza in the traditional sense, right? Like, but it's good because it's just bread and cheese and sauce and pepperoni. Like, how is that bad? You
Sounds
just
like a
mix it all
pizza.
together. It is, but it's not.
It's a big
It's
pizza.
not combined the way a pizza would.
The proportions are way different.
What's
it
the-
focuses on
What is
different.
different? Yeah.
It's a lot more sauce, so it's like
Yeah.
it's very sauce heavy. It's and then it's like it's not like just cheese on top. It's like mixed in, and the crust is different. So
Someone said, like, let's take the best parts of lasagna and put it into a pie. That's how I really
I kind
feel.
of see that. Yeah.
What's lasagna pizza?
Because it's very cheesy. It's very dense. Like, you
Yeah.
can only eat like one or
one
two
piece,
slices.
yeah.
Whereas, sometimes you just want to have that whole volume. Sometimes I feel good when I eat a whole pie.
Right.
Right?
Hell yeah,
You just feel
dude.
good. You feel good.
Let's get that shame eating going. Feel good, and then you're just like, oh.
And
I don't feel
obviously
good now.
nobody has pizza like New York.
In Neptune, New Jersey, there was this famous place that if you ate a whole pie and it was like a really big, thin pie, but it was like $30 or something, you would get a free shirt. And it was just like, you do that every year. You
The
always
things
do it.
that people do for
free shit.
fucking merch is
you don't have to shop.
insane.
Ever. It's great.
That's true.
Not for nothing. I'm just ordering my sandwich from Roma Deli, and on the Uber Eats it says black owned.
I don't know why that's funny, but it's funny. Scott Brunson isn't black.
No, he's not.
Conrad must have some stock in Roma Deli. Not for nothing. Obviously, New York does have the best pizza, but shout out to Fury's. Their pizza is fucking incredible.
Fury's?
If you're ever in the Pittsburgh area and want to check, man, you are a bigger king of tangent than I am.
Yeah, no,
We were talking about touring.
Yeah, I really fucked that up. I definitely dipped the engagement for you guys here. I'm sorry.
No,
No,
we've
it's like I
doubled.
got triggered
Retention
when you
rate.
said Permanis. Sorry.
I did. I knew how to push your buttons.
You do.
I did it, unfortunately.
He looked at me with a smile.
It's
He knew what was
very
going
easy
on.
to trigger a Yinzer. You just say
Yeah.
something negative about Pittsburgh, and we'll go off for like 20 minutes.
So you're on tour, okay? You're really tired. You could choose anything you want to eat. What's your comfort food right now?
Oh man, I mean, I always go Mediterranean usually on tour. It's like the
That's
safest
so
thing.
healthy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is,
Respect.
yeah.
But then I'll eat like a sleeve of Oreos afterwards.
Right.
But like it's called balance, essentially. Yeah.
You're gonna do great in this industry.
Yeah, for sure. I feel ready.
Yeah, you got it locked in, man. That's very clear. Yeah, I'm picky about the way I eat, but and for that reason, I hate eating out. But like Mediterranean is always the easiest go to because it's so fucking light and it's healthy.
Light,
Like
it's
I
good.
always try to when people want to go to dinners, I'm always like really quick to suggest Milos. It's like I just know I can get like 4 ounces of fish there, and I'm not gonna feel like I want to die afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get like protein and rice, and you feel good.
Yeah.
I eat Mediterranean every single day. But
Is
they also
Milos-
have pizza. They also have the best pizza in Vegas. Citrus, right down the block. If anybody ever wants to go, best pizza in Vegas, 100%.
Burke,
But-
is Milo's the one at Red Rock?
No,
it's a
Venetian.
Oh, Venetian.
And there's they have a second. Well, I guess it's not them, but the former head chef of Milos opened his own restaurant on somewhere near Summerlin, I think. And it's effectively the same menu, just a third the cost.
They did the same thing with a head chef at Nobu. He opened up Japanero, and it is amazing.
I love
Japanero's nice.
I love Japanero.
good.
It's just like a nice little cool spot. 7-8 tables.
Yeah.
Such good food
Lot
for
of
like
meat.
Half the
So
price.
good, dude.
I love their meat there.
Yeah,
Can I
love
be
that
an
place.
instigator?
Please.
Untangent instigator?
Yeah.
I think I read on Twitter that you aren't going to be doing a stream for
Correct.
this thing.
Yeah.
Is the door closed on that?
I would say that there may be like a slight crack.
Because I think it's a good idea
Obviously.
for the brand.
For you.
No,
Why-
not for me. Well, yeah, I'm enjoying it either way.
Why for the
I think-
brand?
I think
Because I
it's-
think
I
a lot
think
of
it's a
people are
win for
making this.
everyone.
I think a lot of people are making this argument. Why for the brand is it a good idea?
It's the same reason why Jack for what's going on scandal was just it only helps. People can only hold on to the negative or the drama for so long before they're just enjoying, and it just means more eyeballs, more people getting a chance to see you. Of course, they also get to see Nick. That everyone here is obviously getting an exposure opportunity, but I think like it's really hard to hold on to like the negative details, and eventually you're just enjoying this battle and this competition.
I think the negativity surrounding it was probably the last reason why I didn't want to stream. I don't really care too much about that stuff. For me, it was just an incentive thing. If I were running my own stream, of course, I'd be thrilled. Why
can't you re-stream this and have it be on Self or why?
Well, I guess it would depend on who we went through. If we went to PokerGo, that would be an option, but wouldn't matter because their platform's so much larger. I refuse to go to the lodge, obviously. I won't play on Hustler. So that just leaves major outlets like PokerGo, Poker Night in America, Live at the Bike, all of which have much larger channels than us and wouldn't, in return, do this without streaming it themselves. So we would never get the eyeballs or exposure out of it that we were desiring, which disincentivizes, in my opinion, because I think I'm giving the most up by a long shot by streaming. So there are a few things at play that went into my head. First, I don't want to reward Nick's behavior in any capacity, right? So
but you are because you're playing.
Am I? If I'm a huge favorite, I'm not rewarding shit.
Well, just the opportunity.
Right, but he only wanted to play for clout, right? And that's kind of being stripped away in a big regard. I mean, maybe he wants to play for money too. He truly does think he's that big of a favorite. That's fine.
I think he just likes poker a lot.
Yeah, perhaps. The big reason outside of the time constraint and how stressful it would be given how much is on my plate, the other major reason why I wasn't really interested was because I didn't want to be streaming from the lodge. And it seemed as though that was a non-negotiable. So I thought it died on the vine. Like,
Gotcha.
I thought the notion of us playing was like dead in the water if I was unwilling to do it on a stream. I was surprised to hear him say like, okay, I'll bend to your terms and come to Vegas. And that's great. Like he thinks he has that big of an edge. We're going to battle it out on the felt. And to me, that's all I want this to be. I don't want to reward the notion of like you call someone a scammer and you get the notoriety that you're looking for type of thing. And then secondarily, it's like, this isn't my format. I don't study heads up. I've never studied heads up. And the last thing that I want to do is have to add in the caveat of we get to see each other's hole cards. And now a lot of the work moving forward is adjusting and readjusting based on perfect information. Instead, we get to play 100 hours where neither of us has any perfect information whatsoever. And the adjustments are going to have to be on the fly, based off of observation, based off of our own personal biases and how we filter that through, you know, the lens in which we view the game.
The purer form.
It's much purer, and also it's like what I'm most comfortable with. It's what I've been doing for 20 years is playing in the live realm, feeling people out, and trying to add a theoretical layer to that, and you know, figure out where all the money's being made.
It's fucking street poker, baby.
Okay, well, at the very, I think those are some compelling, thought out responses. Sure. I wasn't ready to answer all the sound logic.
That's where you call him a scammer.
But
that's the right response.
You can eliminate some of this by just streaming the last session.
Yeah, perhaps. And if it's like super close or a runaway, I think that either of those scenarios would be interesting. More so if it's super close, I imagine. But like, even still, it's a lot of hoops to jump through, right?
I agree.
Like Brent reached out. He's like, PokerGo would love to host this. We should be ready by like early May. I was like, bro, he wants to be here in 24 hours.
Like, he's coming next week. So
yeah, like I don't think that that's really an option. And then, you know, I don't know, given the history between Live at the Bike and Hustler, as unwilling as I am to play on Hustler, I imagine Nick would be just as unwilling to play on Live at the Bike.
Yeah.
You know, we do have the option that we can stream it from here, but I don't see why he would feel okay with that.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely see the hoops there for sure.
Can I deal it?
Yeah, I mean, it would be ideal if, like, it would be a lot more favorable to us if we just ran a live stream game out of here. But if I were Nick, I wouldn't want to do that. And honestly, even as me, the owner, I don't really want to do that just because it puts so much of, like, it creates a shadow of doubt. Yeah, I don't want there to be a speculation that, you know, this wasn't a fair match in some sort of capacity, even if I jump through hoops to make sure that it's the most secure it could ever possibly be.
Well, okay, so this is me positing as someone who's going to be interested to watch.
Yep.
And would watch the stream. But also we know that like these long poker stream formats are kind of tedious and boring anyway to watch like 6 hours of. So like
sure.
How I think you guys should come up with a way to make engaging 5 to 10 minute recap content that features interviews or some sort of form so that people can kind of get bite-sized aspects of it, maybe.
Yeah, this is one of those. So this is one of those scenarios where when it presents itself, it becomes glaringly obvious to me once again, and I beat this drum maybe too often, but it's very obvious to me that the incentives in this industry are very disaligned, right? So we're putting up our own money, we're gambling for really high stakes, and everybody within the space kind of wants a piece of the pie in some regard, right? Like they want to be the one to break the story. They want to be the one to cover it. They want to do all this stuff. And that's great. We should do that stuff because it grows the game. It brings in eyeballs. It's interesting. But at the end of the day, we're not being compensated in any capacity or incentivized in any sense to actually do that. So for instance, let's say that, I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think that some sort of content should be created around this.
But you'd own it, so you can monetize it in that sense.
Sort of. I think that the challenge becomes the hoops that you kind of have to jump through in order to do that, right? So I guess like I'm not sure how to properly go about it other than making vlogs, which is super easy, but it's going to be one-sided. You're not going to get Nick. I'm not going to sit down and interview him after every session. Like, I don't want to. And also, like, he probably doesn't want to. So it's like, yeah, we could each make a vlog. And I probably will do something digital, whether it comes out actually weekly through updates or just at the end. But it's not going to have the same impact. You know, it would be so much better if there was just media covering this throughout. But, like, it can't be our job to seek that out. You know, if the XFL says, hey, we're launching a new league and opening day is next Saturday, April 1st, that's all the further they have to take in. The media will then come and they'll do their thing and report it appropriately. I don't want to be the one to reach out to people and say like, hey, if you guys are interested, you know, you're more than welcome to come and report the hands, or, you know, if you want to do like video interviews, like we'll take a break halfway in and yada, yada, yada. And also like, unfortunately, poker media has kind of like gotten very stale when it comes to this type of stuff. Like when you go to tournament stops, it's always the same. Who's the chip leader on this break? Can we get him? What 6 questions are we going to ask? It's going to be the same repetitive, you know, you played this big hand. What were you thinking on the turn? And I guess it does what it's supposed to do. But like personally, as somebody in the industry, I don't watch that shit. Do you? Like, do you follow it that way?
No, I mean, it's just the same way as like, you know, interviewing a basketball player at halftime.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. As a sports fan, I don't care about that stuff.
Need more shock value.
Something. You just need a storyline. You need an arc.
You need a storyline for sure. Yeah.
And unfortunately, like, it's kind of on us to create it. And I just don't want to. I literally just want to sit down, play this man heads up at No Limit Hold'em, and hopefully back the truck up on him.
Wow, that's a callback, dude. Holy shit.
Beep, beep, motherfucker.
Back the truck up. That's an old one.
Oh, man.
Old being 2 years.
I mean, to his credit, he backed the truck up.
He did.
I want to see a reversal out of Nick at the end of this, and I think they will. You know, because he thinks you're bad, and he thinks you're a scammer, and he thinks, or maybe he doesn't think that. I don't know. Maybe he's just doing this for whatever. But at the end of it, he should see you for the person that you are, for the player that you are, and him to, you know, maybe backtrack what he's said.
I don't hold out for that.
Right.
And honestly, I hope he still thinks I suck when it's all said and done.
Yeah, you get more
It's very
action.
important to keep the customers happy.
Right.
But yeah, win or lose, like I'm just happy to kind of be in the arena.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that largely gets overlooked because, you know, to Hoodie's point, we are doing that to some degree. Like we show up here 5 days a week and we are kind of stoking the fires of poker media and trying to give people an opportunity to follow along whatever the hell is important in the industry at the current time. But I think it gets forgotten that like we're out there, you know, especially like Landon and I, when it comes to the stakes that we're playing, like we're battling, you know. It's like I've played more hours already this year than I could have fathomed, but I'm like 200 hours in already at 100, 200 plus. And most of it is on stream. So like it's a very vulnerable position to be in whenever your strategy is always on display and everybody's a critic.
Yeah, in this case, there's a storyline. You and Airball Rick, right? So this one's easier.
What's
in
easier,
that
but like
sense.
somebody has to run with it, right?
Somebody
A s-
being
Well, somebody to tell the story. Like a script is nothing if the movie's never made.
sure. Well, is that not what I guess our job is now at this point?
I don't know, man.
To some extent.
To some extent, like I'll do a weekly recap every Wednesday. Strat Chat can just turn into kind of this, and we can just discuss the previous week's match or whatever. But I think I agree with him. If I were on the outside looking in, I would be pissed.
I'm not. I'm just instigating.
No, I know, but I think you echo the
I
sentiments
don't know if the
of
chat
everybody.
is on my side or not with
yeah.
this,
Oh,
but
They are.
Even
They're
a
definitely
weekly recap though.
Say that
it's-
again?
Even a weekly recap, it's a negative free roll for you.
I don't
Well,
even-
I'm not gonna like.
I don't even think it has to be you, because if you need to focus in on it and like do it, like
Yeah.
I think that's the benefit of having all this capable, awesome team here.
That's true.
They can also kind
You're
of
giving
be
us a
part
lot of
it.
credit, man.
You deserve it.
Trust me though.
You guys are award-winning podcasters,
right.
after all.
Yeah.
Where's our goddamn trophy, Poker Girl?
I know.
Let's go. Good.
No, I would love to like produce some of this, but I don't know what our bandwidth is going to be towards the end of it. You guys
Well, mine is 0, and yours is already teetering towards 0. So take that for what
I
it's
have
worth.
Mark
like
it
an
0.
hour and a half a day.
Okay, so you have 90 minutes a day. I'm going to offer you absolutely nothing outside of doing what I'm told. And we are down 2 editors right now.
No, I would do live. I'd produce live.
How? Oh, you mean like actually just streaming?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would stream it live.
Yeah. I mean, we're playing at Bellagio in Bobby's room. That hasn't really been announced yet, but just confirmed yesterday. We got everything set up. So the issue is just like not very conducive, and also they have gaming to deal with. So it's not like you can just come in and set up a phone.
You can't just stroll on in there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that would be the most reasonable compromise, is to just set a phone up on a tripod and just live stream it to YouTube. But I don't know how much hunger there is to just see 2 people at a table. when
I
you
actually
can't
don't
zoom
think
in.
that's the best way. The best way is to probably do what the Triton guys do, which is have someone just record all the hands on an iPad, track the action,
Oh yeah.
and then
Yeah.
here's the biggest hands that happened that we
Yeah.
were able to see.
Yeah, actually, that's you're 100% correct. Getting somebody down there with Action Tracker, you could do it. We have Poker GFX.
Yes.
So like literally just getting someone down there with Action Tracker and a laptop running Poker GFX,
That's right.
sending all those graphics for every single hand
That's right.
that goes to Showdown, and then we scour through, choose. I mean, you could just sort by pot size. Choose maybe the top 50 hands when it's all said and done, and make content off of that. Yeah,
So glad I could help.
you might have just forced me to hire another intern. Yeah. So if you're out there and you want to track hands,
Send an email to.
Lamanna's already getting bombarded. I can't do it to him.
Thank you, sir.
I did say that one of the other things I said on Twitter, and I think this is really important to me, and hopefully actually it's a step in the right direction, because one thing we don't have in this industry is peer review. And I think it's really necessary when it comes to training content and selling services. So one of the big things that came of this that I hope is a positive step in the right direction is I offered anyone who is in the training sphere that we would consider to be a peer, or anybody in the media who wants to come and audit an academy, you're more than welcome. You could reach out to Brian. I put his email on Twitter. As long as you have credentials for us to approve, would love to have you here. And while we're at it, we might as well plug it. The Academy is going to be April 15th to the 18th. That's our final Poker Out Loud Academy of the year. 4 days of training. Every other day is lectures on strategy. And then the second and fourth day are gameplay, where you actually play Poker Out Loud style poker. Every time it's on you, you speak your strategy out loud. We do commentary in the back and kind of pinpoint the areas where you're a little bit weak or strong. May 24th to the 27th, we have a tournament academy. That will be 4 days as well. Each day will represent a different phase of the MTT, with the final day being final table study and gameplay. So if you guys are interested in that, head to academy.solveforwhy.io for more information on the Tournament Academy specifically. Click on the banner above. That's all I got, man. I'm exhausted with this topic. Garrett's about to go live with Polk.
I had to go play the Venetian 600.
He got the fucking scoop on us.
You got 4th yesterday.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about
we didn't even give you your
cool.
props.
Congrats, man.
Oh, thanks,
Let's
guys.
go. Nice
Congrats,
run,
Connie.
Connie.
Yo, all right, before we get out of here,
Run.
real quick situation. Open under the gun. I have 9 big blinds or 8 big blinds in the cutoff, I want to say. I jam with King Jack suited. Big blind doesn't see my jam, says call, throws out the 50K, which is the complete.
Yep.
The floor comes over, and they were going to call it the gross misconduct rule and like let him like forfeit the 50 and muck his hand.
Yeah, that's what they did in the main.
But he said call.
Oh, right.
So they made him keep his the call out. He had maybe like my jam was for like 240. He had maybe 420 total.
Okay.
And the reg that opened up into the gun was like, well, fuck.
Rejams.
Immediately. I
Yeah.
knew this was happening as the fucking this situation
That's
happened. I
great
was
for
like,
you.
Yeah.
In a way, like
No, it's great. You
That's great.
potentially
Yeah.
triple up, and
Yeah.
you don't have to go 3 ways here.
yeah, well, yeah, but this guy's like, he's just gonna call. Anyway, he calls. Big blind has queen 10, under the gun has queen jack, and we held.
Wow.
So that was a really fun situation.
That's massive.
It was really weird. But yeah, that was cool. Got 4th.
That is massive.
Gonna try.
Hoodie, thank you so much for joining
Hey,
us.
thanks for
Thank you,
having me,
Eddie.
man.
New album is Bub. Head over to Spotify. Check that out. Be sure
one
to
of those
follow this man on
jackets.
all the socials.
I got you.
Yes. See, look, free merch, baby. You don't have to shop.
Got it.
Merch, baby.
Keep repping it.
That's right. We will be back tomorrow at our normal time, noon. Jeff Platt and Brent Hanks actually won't be joining us because of the USPO, which my man Hoodie is going to be getting in the mix on. I also will not be here tomorrow. I have some training to do, so you're left with the skeleton crew that's going to get it popping.
The fuck you just called me?
I don't, you know what you are, man. We'll be back noon tomorrow. Looking forward to it. We'll see you guys then.
Later,
Peace.
squad.